Paris Climate Summit seeks global finance reform. 25 African startups are to receive $4 million Google fund. Plus, gold near 3-month lows as Powell stakes to rate hike script. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. Good to have you join us. It's that time we bring you up to speed with happenings in the world of business. I will start by telling you that dozens of global leaders will gather in Paris this Thursday for a summit to tease out a new consensus on international economic reforms to help debt-burdened developing countries face a growing onslaught of challenges, particularly climate change. French President Emmanuel Macron, who is hosting the meeting with Barbados Prime Minister Mayor Motley, said the summit for a new global financial pact is aimed at finding the financial solutions to the interlinked global goals of tackling poverty, curbing planet heating, emissions, and protecting nature. This has become imperative as economies have been battered by successive shocks in recent years, including COVID-19, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, spiking inflation, debt, and the spiraling cost of weather disasters intensified by global warming. Meanwhile, Nigeria is set for the new Global Financial Pact Summit slated for 22nd and 23rd of June in Paris, France. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports that part of the preparation is a high-level meeting led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on what Nigeria stands to benefit from the two-day global summit.
Going through the streets of French capital Paris, it's obvious the city is ready to host the new Global Financial Summit. This meeting by Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with stakeholders is part of strategy for a successful outing at the summit.
The essence is to network as much as is feasible, as much as is practicable. The president wants to network with international finance corporations, institutions, countries that are well heeled, that would facilitate or that could facilitate direct foreign investment into Nigeria. Don't forget that Mr. President has taken some very bold steps in the area of economy, in the area of social engineering in the last 3 weeks. And particularly with reference to the unification of the multiple exchange rate, which has caused very positive multiplier effect. However, in the short run, we have noticed that and expected that there will be a slight spike in the demand, and then that would affect the value of the naira.
President Tinubu will be among world leaders to review and sign a new global financial pact that places vulnerable countries on priority list for support and investment. From the French capital, Paris, Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila.
Now, away from Paris Summit, the African Export-Import Bank, that's the Afreximbank, has unveiled its 2023 African Trade Report. The report, which was unveiled at the bank's 30th anniversary celebration, an yearly general meeting held in Accra, Ghana, examines trade and economic development in Africa and other parts of the world in 2022, a period during which the world economic witnessed a sharp synchronized global deceleration on account of a confluence of overlapping global crises, including the lingering effects of COVID 2019. The report highlights the fact that a combination of supply chain disruptions, trade restrictions, heightening global tensions, and tightening monetary policy in response to record high inflation contributed to major shifts in investor sentiment and led to steep increases in commodity prices during the first half of the year. It stated that African exports characterized by very few manufactured exports, which are concentrated in a limited number of countries, driven by a few sectors, and have limited export markets. However, the report noted that intra-African trade, which has been given a boost through the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, is clearly set to redefine Africa's economic fortunes for future. It also reaffirms the belief that by lowering barriers to trade in goods and services, the agreement is providing great incentives for those looking to do business across the continent and reduce reliance on the global value chains, while setting a new direction for the development of regional value chains. Now, talking developments in the world of finance and cross-border transactions, some of Africa's leading financial institutions recently signed a groundbreaking memorandum of understanding with PAPS, which is a global payment provider. This MOU aims to revolutionize settlement of cross-border transactions. Joining us this morning is a prominent industry expert to shed more light on the collaboration and its potential impact on the financial landscape. He is Professor Jonathan Aremu, consultant to ECOWAS on common investment market. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you, Benny.
Well, Prof, as you are aware, the MOU being signed by ECO Bank and PAPS with the initiation of the Afri-Exim Bank. If all plans go into effect, we expect that in sometime January 2024, that is next year, this payment system will take off. What is your take on this initiative at this particular point in time where countries are looking inwards rather than playing alongside the politics of the dominant currency, talking about the dollar? How important is it particularly for the African continental market, where I in Nigeria can use my naira to buy goods in Ghana rather than using the Ghana cedis?
Thank you, Benny. I think you have explained everything. Once again, Via, thank you for opportunity to hear my views on the MOU that was signed on Monday between EcoBank and Afrexim towards the implementation of Pan-African payment and settlement system. Let me explain first that what is Pan-African payment and settlement system. Benny just said it all. He said that I'll be able to use my domestic currency to be able to buy anything I wanted to buy within Africa. And then the payment will be made to the exporter of the product in its own domestic currency. So that suggests the interlinking of the banking system, an interpayment system that will ensure that the currencies of member states will be linked together in a way in which once at a touch of a button, money leaves your account and then it's crediting the account of who it should credit in terms of the exporter of a particular product. It's a very good development. In ECOWAS Commission, we have a similar one. In fact, we started before Pan-African Payment, which is ECOWAS Payment and Settlement System. I am the consultant in ECOWAS to mainstreaming that assignment. And but something which I think that Afrexim and ECO should have done, since African Continental Free Trade Area is based on building block from the regional economic groupings, they should have actually gone to the REX to be able to know the position of the payment system in each of the REX. And then when they now look at it, they can now connect the entire Africa through that REX payment system rather than a payment system that is going to take individual banks. That one will take a long time because of the fact that there's going to be some legal lacuna. In ECOWAS Commission, we have made things easy. There's ECOWAS Payment and Settlement System, and in the next 1.5 months, the Central Bank of ECOWAS countries, they are meeting again to finalize what is going to be done about ECOWAS payment and settlement system, which the ECOWAS Commission and the head of state has actually said that it must take off. Last year in July, a supplementary act on payment system was put in place, which means that within ECOWAS country, you can just buy among member states using your own currency. So I think at individual RX level, something like that is equally existing. And EcoBank, being an initiative of ECOWAS, I think that EcoBank should have actually looked inward to what is happening in ECOWAS before actually going into that
Okay,
MOU.
Prof, from this point you've made, it's clear that we're having this both ways coming from ECOWAS as well as the Afro-Exim Bank. For Afro-Exim Bank, they are looking to start this initiative. The MOU was just signed a few days ago, and they are looking to take off in January 2024, which is some sort of long time, if you would permit me to say that. But for ECOWAS is taking off like a few months, like you said, hopefully. So I hope that Afro-Exim Bank and EcoBank will get to learn from the takeoff of that of ECOWAS. But before that comes to play, can we understand how this payment settlement would be made? Are we going to have one central bank to coordinate all of this, both at ECOWAS level? Since you're a consultant in that of ECOWAS, possibly Afro-Exim Bank and EcoBank will learn from this initiative at this point in time. How is ECOWAS planning to roll out this initiative?
Thank you very much, Benny. You see, what I'm saying is that, you see, EcoBank it was initiated by ECOWAS, right? It's one of the institutions which today ECOWAS can be proud to say that we are actually at the response for it's being established. So EcoBank is going to go into a program in which ECOWAS Commission has committed so much effort in terms of regional payment system, which is ECOWAS payment and settlement system. There's nothing wrong in which they look at where ECOWAS is on the payment system and then take it from there. Because whether you want it or not, this interconnection, which you are saying will start in 2004, it will involve a lot of monetary policy authorities' activity, which is the sole responsibility of the central banks of countries. And since we have Central Bank of ECOWAS, they are meeting in the next maybe a month and a half to come. So the position on the payment system would have been something that would have been factored into the MOU. So it will make the thing easier for the MOU to be able to be effective. And then they can go across to other RECs. We have 8 RECs in the entire Africa. And then get some of this information. And then since African Continental Free Trade Area is going to be building block from the existing REC, they can use the REC's position to be able to actually just join the thing at the head. Now, without doing that, it will involve Afrexim actually going to go to visiting each of these banks by themselves. You know, when you look at the agreement that was signed, they said they expect that the Central Bank of members will have reached a point that will allow them to work. But it shouldn't be like that. It should have been that they are contacted to be able to really make sure what is happening at each of the RECs. That would have been easier. It needs to be more easier and clearer than to base this on information which they were not aware of, and then they are thinking that the Central Bank will do that. So that's exactly what I'm saying. And secondly, Orama is, we work together. I was in research department of Central Bank when he was in the other department that emerged to become a division. And then after a division, it became a Nigerian Export and Import Bank. And then when Afrexim was created, it was in Afrexim. So he is familiar with this process. I think there's need to be able to step backward and then be able to make sure that the facilitate.
Okay, Prof, if you permit me, let me hold your thoughts at this point to say, while we look forward to rolling out of this initiative, how do you see this strengthening our naira? More so that we have a single currency window now, and we are looking to attract investment, not just from other parts of the world, but particularly in Africa. More so that we are looking to really start trading in the African continental market.
No doubt, Pan-African payments and settlements is a very good policy. It's a very good initiative. It's going to facilitate trading among member states. Particularly, it's going to allow, we are not going to use letter of credit going through dollar, going through pound sterling, going through euro to be able to trade among ourselves. Clearly, it's going to assist. But in terms of actually looking into the kind of exchange rate policy which Nigeria is using now, there is no direct impact, but obviously it is going to ensure that we can trade better among ourselves without using dollar and pound sterling. So clearly speaking, it's going to be an easy approach. There's no doubt about that. It's going to expand our business. It's going to lead to economies of scale for companies because they can now sell easily among African countries. We expect a lot of opportunity from the payment system. But it's the approach which I was commenting upon that the MOU will consider what is already at the rest level and use the rest level as a basis. Since after is to build on the existing rec.
Well, thanks very much. I'm sure this point is well noted, not just for us Nigerians, but also our counterparts across the African sub-region. Thank you so very much, Prof, for sharing your thoughts with us at this particular point in time. And I say, I for one, I'm looking forward to seeing that these actually come into effect and takes off smoothly to enhance and encourage trade amongst us in Africa and also beyond. Thank you very much, Prof. Jonathan Aremu. Moving on, oil futures dipped on Thursday amid demand fears after Federal Reserve Chairman hinted at further interest rate hikes while traders awaited official U.S. inventory data following an industry report that showed an unexpected draw in crude stocks. Brent futures fell 20 cents to $76.92 a barrel in early trading, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were down 19 cents at $72.34. The benchmarks had gained $1 a barrel in the previous session as U.S. corn and soybean prices raised to multi-month highs, raising expectations that crop shortfalls around the globe could lower biofuel blending and increase oil demand. Well, let's now see how other commodities are trading around the world. Ahead of Salah, Eid Kabir is one of Muslim celebrations after Eid Fitr, and an important act, and it is also involves the slaughtering of ram. Correspondent Aisha Obali, who visited the ram market, says prices have slightly increased.
Very important for us to do that because it's one of the pillars of Islam, and then it's not compulsory. It's when you can afford it, and if you can afford it, you should do.
The Eid al-Kabir celebration comes with ram sacrifice, and the Holy Quran makes reference to the fact that the sacrifice of animals is commemorative of Abraham's offer of his son's life at the command of Allah, who was substituted by a ram, and it has been perpetuated by Islam. Every Muslim tries to slaughter a ram to abide by the injunction.
Now, for instance, this very ram here goes for 280,000, while this other one here goes for 250,000 naira. But some of the sellers here are saying that people are not really coming to buy because we still have few days to sell.
The Kari ram market, this period is a good one for ram sellers, even though business is just picking up, and the price varies according to the size of the ram.
Ministry used to come here and buy their rams, and during Salah, you see how crowd rams will gather here. So maybe by Monday, if you come here, you will see buyers are rushing. because we'll sell our rams in a cheap price.
Isa says the ram can go for as much as 1 million naira.
While I told you the other rams were like 300, 200 and above, here in this very particular shade, we have rams of almost 1 million naira from 800,000 and above.
Even though the species of the ram varies from local to Sudanese, for the sellers, a ram is a ram and is accepted in Islam. Though other animals like camels and cows are also slaughtered, but ram in Islam is more appreciated. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali.
And equities market closed positive as bullish run continued in midweek trade. The all share index increased by 0.36% to 59,323.95 basis points. A total turnover of 643 million securities valued at 6.1 billion naira were exchanged in 7,806 deals. Equity capitalization advanced to 32.3 trillion naira as investors gained 116.49 billion naira. Universal Insurance PLC, Guarantee Trust Holding Company and Geopol led in volume of stocks at the end of this session. And now taking a look at the global market, Asia markets mix even as a Federal Reserve forecast more rate hikes to deal with inflation. Let's join Bosedi Abel for more on the global market.
European markets had a steep fall early Thursday, with sentiment remaining sore after U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell forecast more rate hikes this year, saying that the process of getting back down to 2% has a long way to go. Asia markets largely rose following Jerome Powell forecast. In Japan, the Nikkei 225 fell 0.19% to reverse its gains from Wednesday, while markets in Hong Kong and mainland China, as well as Taiwan, are closed for a holiday. U.S. stock futures were flat in overnight trading Wednesday after the market suffered 3 consecutive days of declines as the tech-powered rally faded. Futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 23 points or 0.07%. S&P 500 futures inched up by 0.05% and Nasdaq 100 futures were little changed. The same negative trend is reflected in most African stocks, with the South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, Namibia's overall index opening red. Bosede Ebo, Business Express.
This is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. Business Express returns Friday at 3 p.m. I am Benny Adams saying, have a wonderful day.
One's power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected.